Alright guys, here we're talking about Daredevil Season 3, Episode 4. This is probably the strongest episode of the season, in my opinion. Fantastically so. And
spoiler alert for my spoiler. So it wouldn't spoil you.
Okay.
Multiple sources have been like, have you gotten to Episode 4 yet? Or whatever the fuck.
I've not seen anything about that. I avoid that shit like the plague.
No, people talking to me. They're like, oh, did you watch Daredevil? I'm watching it like week to week because I do a YouTube show. They go, what are you talking about? I go, oh my god, you don't even like me. What are you talking about? And then they go like, okay, well, like how much have you watched? And like, oh, we're on Episode 2. Okay, let me know when you get to Episode 4. We have to talk about it. And I'm like, thanks, great. So I'm like, okay. So going into this, I had a thing of like something's happening or whatever.
So this episode, like, this is just the hallway fight of all hallway fights.
Yeah. So like
starts in a room
when he's being led down the long hall where there's all the like prisoners up against the wall.
Yeah.
I immediately write down in all caps, "What is this, a hallway? Oh my god!" And then and that ends up not even being like the main fight, but it ends up like happening another.
The whole time that's happening from like the beginning to the end, I was like, all right, he's totally fucked. Like, and by from beginning I mean like the moment he like registered, like used the card to get in.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well he's not Foggy. I go, there's a record of Foggy being there. Prisons have all kinds of cameras. They know it's not him. Yeah. And I was kind of like, well, he can never be Matt Murdock again. Was kind of my thing. I was like, okay. he is now Daredevil or a guy who is Daredevil, not in a suit. Like he is never Matt Murdock again. And that. I kept reiterating that point in my head over and over again when I was like, all right, so Fisk knows he's a blind man and he's fighting, he's watching on a camera. Okay, he probably knows he's Daredevil already. Yep. And then like just all the things where I'm like, okay, you're clearly in this situation. The guards are after you. This is not like people have seen you, mobsters want you. Like everything knows who you are.
Yes,
and you've probably also called down a shitstorm on Foggy because his name was signed in.
That's the worst of it. Is like I assume so. Right now he has to go back to them, which is dumb. We'll get to dumb things.
Well, he already wanted another deadbolt, so I think he'll be safe.
Yes, that stuff's all good, but like that was all. I'd classify all of that lead up as like cute, where he's like, oh, you should run for DA. It's like that's ridiculous and all that stuff. And then it's like, where's my wallet? And then it cuts to like him like.
Well, the thing I hated about that cool. was they're both rich power lawyers, and she goes, and you got to get coffee. You'll pay. And I was like, why? Why would she say that? Why would you even think about paying? If something costs under $100 and you're like a fucking rich ass person, you're not even thinking about money. Like, on that dollar thing I'm gonna drink, you have to buy it.
First of all, coffee is very expensive. You don't drink coffee, so
I don't drink coffee. I assume they go to 7-Eleven.
Second of all, because we have to have the line about how see my wallet.
That's exactly it. But that felt so
obviously
forced.
Yes.
Because he could have at any point he could have just been changing his suit and then been like put his keys on the hook, put it like his change in the bowl, and then been like, wait a minute, where's my wallet? And it would have had no issue.
I know.
Just felt like shit in my mouth when I heard that.
It's okay.
Just something. Did she change? She doesn't seem like the same person to me.
Well, so like originally she was framed up as being like bad for him. And
no, I know, but she looks like a different shape. Like she looks like a different person.
I can never tell any of that. I'm assuming that it's the same actress.
I have no idea.
I don't know if her shape changed, but yes, she's definitely playing like a different character now, kind of, which might just be character changing, but I don't know.
No, people change. I don't care about that. It's just like I couldn't tell if it was the same actress. I was like, is this the same person?
Yeah.
But this episode was great.
I was going to say, like, that's all the setup, right? Karen knows. They go to the apartment. They know he's been there. Everything's happening. You're not sure if anyone's going to run into anyone else or whatever, but then we get the thing. And it's like tradition at this point. It's, like, made to look like one long shot. There's a lot of camera stuff. There's a lot of, choreography and motion and all that. And you could be forgiven for saying, I bet he's going to fight in a big hallway. That's fine.
I love the hallway fights.
Like, how are they going to up the ante this time or something like that? And they do it by because the first
by making it a fucking video game where he fights waves.
No, waves, and like has to like I actually use the word video game as well, because the whole thing where there's the two of them and he has to unlock the door, so he has to hold them off while he's unlocking the door, and they have to get through, and then weird stuff happens, and it's like it really communicated all the confusion, because not only is he Daredevil, but there's also like a shitstorm going on. So
which was perfectly for him though. It's like smoke and
Yeah,
dark
yeah.
and flashing lights and bullshit, and him just able to see.
But loud noises that are like throwing him
Yes,
off.
yes.
It's like, oh no, or whatever. And when they come into the room where like there's just all these guards and all these prisoners fighting separate fights, and like someone tackles the guy that was
helping him.
So someone, so that guy gets like distracted. Someone attacks Matt, and someone tackles that guy. But you don't know if it's the same fake Albanian guard.
Yeah, yeah.
But it turns out to be like a different guard, because then Daredevil's like, oh god, and then his fake guard grabs him and all that stuff.
And you can spy the fake guard because like you can see a little bit of orange underneath his suit there.
That's great. I love. It was a fucking roller coaster, and the whole thing. Civilian here. And I go, civilian, open the gate. Open the gate.
I don't know that it would work that way, and
probably not.
What's very weird is that it seems like the moment you declare there's a riot, and that was not even a real riot in the first place. It was just like pretty much it was Matt causing that thing.
They started
and
for
the
him,
moment they had that they killed everybody.
Right. Well, and we must like various prisoners start throwing flaming things out of their like all this shit goes loose. Like people seize the opportunity that something's going to hell, and we don't know. Like they make a comment like, well, half of the people here are in Fisk's pocket or something like that. So we don't know if the person at the gate is corrupt or not, or I guess he can't be. But
that's not the issue. Is you take a lot on faith there, because when he gets to the door, that could have just been all Fisk's guys, and he just got killed.
No, and at a certain point, like I actually thought that too, because he like dives into the cab and then it sequence is over or something like that. I would have liked something near the end where someone was going to go do something, but they see all these other people around, and they go like, fuck, I can't make my move or something like that. But then it would have distracted from the fluidity of the whole sequence. So
yes.
I see why that
fluidity is like what he ended up in.
No, that was so rough. So to go back, right, Fisk fucking calls him.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of killing you. I'd like to chat. Like, it's a crazy thing. It was great. You have some impressive reflexes there. So like, and I'm gonna say, because I called this, so I'm gonna say it, right? Fisk planned the whole thing about getting shanked, and I'm happy that that's how it was, because it was a little off to me. So I'm happy that they actually call it out. And so Fisk has like a control room somewhere where he can watch the video feed from the prison where everyone's in his pocket or something like that, right?
I don't know how that's working.
Wait a minute, what the fuck, right? So I don't know, like he owns that hotel, he does all that stuff. He's now standing up when they come in for like the search, right? I think there's like a fucking hidden compartment where there's like
behind
another
that wall or something.
There's like another room.
But there
somewhere.
are 5 cameras in that room, so like how does that even work?
I don't know. What's happening.
So you like see him just staring at this wall, but the camera stops before that, and like the wall like
no.
Or you think
absolutely not.
What do you think?
I think that they own the hotel, so there's shit that's not in the blueprints.
Oh yeah,
and he can
certainly. But
he's working with someone to hide the fact that he's not always in there or whatever.
That's the thing that you need. Is there has to be somebody else because you saw when he's like bing 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 bing, turns off 5 cameras. That room is 100% covered. There's nothing that could just be secreted out of.
And that's the big room. There's like a bedroom too, I think, or there's other stuff.
I'm sure they're all in that same.
They all have cameras. Yes. So something.
It's very dumb that there's a large window in his penthouse thing too, though. Like we did have what are they, Colombians, Albanians trying to kill him.
Picture guy with an RPG.
Could they not? Could they not shoot through the glass?
Yeah, it's a little something. But he's high up. I guess that's fine.
Yeah, that's how that works. You're just safe the higher you go.
Yeah, I know.
But no, the episode was great. It had like the action was super solid. I did love the waves that we mentioned. So like he takes out this nurse who's undercover.
Yep.
Stabs him with what I guess is knockout gas, not a poison.
Yeah, so like
because he eventually is knocked the fuck out.
Right, they show the syringe has been expelled, and it was like kind of touching his hand.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he said, "What did you inject me with?"
Yeah. I wasn't clear how much of that got into him or if that was okay.
Not a lot.
He stabs the guy in the leg, and I guess it just hurts, but it totally is super effective on that other guy. And it can't be deadly neuro poison because he manages to fight his way through stuff. But a testament to how tough he is, or whatever.
Sure. But also, like, why he was taking a lot of hits in the hallway because he was not on his.
So like that's perfect because I was saying before, like, how do we up the ante? Well, he doesn't have his suit, and he was not prepared for this at all. He's in like a space he has no idea about. He's like, again, like he's just lawyer Matt at this point, and he's fighting.
He's lawyer Foggy at this point.
He's actually Foggy lawyer. And like you're saying, waves, 1 nurse, 3 guys in like jumpsuits, 2 guys in like riot gear, and then just going to hell from there. But talking to the guy that he was trying to get a hold of in the first place.
That was cool.
Kind of getting like, oh, he's done now. He's been attacked by a wall of meat, and then it's like, oh, it's the guy. It's the Albanian guy. Yeah.
I definitely enjoyed this, but I couldn't pull myself out of the idea of like, well, he can't be Matt Murdock ever again. Like, it just kept reiterating where I'm like, it's too much, and maybe he never was going to be anyway. Who knows?
Right. Well, so I don't know what he's planning to do in the future. I don't know if there'll be a warrant for Matt Murdock's arrest or if he'll fake his death. Because at the end, he wakes up in a car and there's a different guy driving.
Yeah.
So that cab driver's probably dead. Yeah. It's like, oh fuck.
And he's in the classic yellow cab, which they decided to destroy.
And he's like, don't worry, it's all good, and jumps out of the car, and he speeds off the docks. Convenient time to wake up, but again, we have to suspend some disbelief for these things.
And Matt'll, it literally ends with that, but there'd be no issue with him getting out of that. He can just break the glass or whatever.
It's quite a cliffhanger, though. It literally ends on the frame of the water coming up to the cab. So we get to see how this all happens or something like that.
Yeah.
Other stuff though.
So Foggy does go to get a hearing with the policemen's union to try to get an endorsement for his run. Now it's unclear to me if this is gonna work out really well and he is somehow going to win.
He wins, definitely. He shouldn't.
I can't see how that should happen.
No.
But I did like the guy who asked to sign was the same guy that was the dick to him in the first place. Yeah. I thought his speech was a little cringy at points.
Yeah.
But it worked.
Classic Foggy. No, I literally was like, this is perfect. This is what Foggy would do. Mm-hmm. He's prepared this speech, and people are heckling the speech. Yeah. And he just talks louder.
A smarter man than I wouldn't take much.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because certain people can give a speech, and Foggy's not that kind of person. I'm not that kind of person. I've had to deal with that my whole life. I start giving a speech, people start looking away, start doing stuff, start talking amongst themselves. It's awful. And Foggy, I feel for you, bro. He's in the same scenario, and that's what happens to him. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Because what if he'd just given a speech and the music swelled, and it's and today we celebrate our Independence Day, and everyone cheers and starts signing, right? This was very all right. It was this low-key thing.
Yeah.
And the other dude's looking at him like, Foggy, what the fuck? It's this perfect thing. I'm like, all right, good. Because he's cut all of his ties, he's burned the bridges with that guy completely now. He showed up several times. He's had security threatened multiple times.
It'll all work out for the best for him, obviously, because it's a show. And that does just work narratively for everything. It's and now Foggy's the DA, and this is the blah, blah, and the whatever. And
we've got to clean up the city. I know just the man for the job.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's going to win, or if it's just going to be a thing. Or if
all he needs to do is bring a light to the situation, so I think he's already going to do that.
And the plan, the actual cover, the actual first story, whatever, is solid, right? It's harder to assassinate the guy running for DA against his thing than just a random dude no one's ever heard of and nobody cares about. So I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Stacy coming through.
Now, what did you think about the street justice bit we got with...
it feels too much like the Trish thing from Jessica Jones.
A little bit, right?
We get her, so Karen...
Maybe done better, though, by a lot. But the same thing, just the same.
But not done first, so that's what's key. Shakespeare, Picasso, Tarantino, you don't have to do it the best, you just have to do it first, and then you get the thing. So, yes, Karen's investigating. She has to question someone. She sees dudes hassling chicks on the street, and then she's like, hassle me, motherfucker. Let's go.
In that catcalling you only ever see in movies. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
The whole her going to that person's house, though, I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
She's coming unhinged. Her eyes seem extra red. I'm like, is she high?
Is she taking the inhalers from Trish?
What else did they take from that show?
Or is she a vampire? Yeah. No, yeah, and Foggy says, have you slept? You're a hot mess, girl. There's a whole thing of, for that to happen, but it's still, I don't know. It's some of these things I plunk down in front of the show, and I'm like, I know, this guy's having family troubles. This dude's a secret stalker. You're a giant rhinoceros in a cage. You're a lawyer. It makes sense. And for plot lines like this, they don't make the cut for me to remember hard enough. Where I'm like,
sure.
Did her boss say not to do? So she's gonna
she's
call
not supposed
his
to do
boss.
anything.
So that's bad. And she hasn't slept. So she's been there the whole time. Well, that can't be, because he'd be like, "Do you have that other story?" And she's like, "Hold on, I'm working on a thing. Oh God!" It's kind of I don't know. It's fine. But she's got a lead. She knows about the red lion.
The red lion, where the money is being held or whatever.
And it reinforces...
okay, got some stuff going on there. That's going to come into play with Foggy probably at some point.
It reinforces the whole thing about how is Fisk able to still exert all this control, because he was intentionally moved from one facility to another where he actually has more access to things, right? So, okay, this is all fitting together fine.
Yeah, and then we have Poindexter's story here. Fisk, backed him.
Yeah.
There's going to be potentially something there. You can see the like a
that scene,
brewing relationship.
Right out of Primal Fear. When he looks at the camera, I was like, oh, shit, that's awesome. And like maybe it was subtle enough because like they've zoomed in on it now, right, for us or something.
It's laid on very thick too.
Yeah,
so.
I was gonna say like maybe it's subtle enough that the people watching these tapes didn't pick up on it, but that's I have to again suspend disbelief.
The edited for home viewers, it's like what?
He's like, and then Poindexter's like, oh, and they play the music, and he's like, holy shit. Why is he lying for me? And he goes in like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, and then I love even when Dex is leaving and he gets like the heebie-jeebies and turns and Fisk is like standing there and all that stuff earlier in the episode. Like stuff like that is really cool when you have a little he takes a bite of his hamburger, saddest looking hamburger in the world.
And it is just a weird tray that they are putting things on. It was not a bento box as I once thought.
I actually thought that they were going to leave him with like the fancy lid, and that was going to
something was going to be in the lid,
and they were going to or he was going to use it in some way to do something or something like that. But it's too early for him to hold a lawyer hostage and do something, right? That's
I would think
for later.
Agreed.
If it ever happens. But we don't really. So Nadine talks to Dex and sort of has his back and all that stuff.
Very much so, and all rightfully so, because he is right, where he would be dead right now if it wasn't for that man. So he owes him a little bit of something.
Right, exactly. Which is good.
I like
the
same
realism.
Fisk owes him the same debt. So I'm like, okay, if it went nowhere further than this, I'm like, okay, people have done what I agree they owe this man who was an insane person, obviously, but he did save people.
No, and I really like that. Like, no one knows he's insane yet. Like in certain, particularly TV shows, but movies, TV, comics, whatever.
Yeah.
When someone's got a secret thing, like everything they do, they're making jokes and comments, and there's musical stings, and you see him looking at something, and then look at something, and go like, do something, right? And you're like, all right, you're the most suspicious motherfucker on the planet. Like, why does everyone trust you or whatever? But no, he's this like super. He's like the captain of the football team. He's dating the cheerleader. He's like the super awesome dude that everybody likes. He just happens to have this dark thing that's gonna come up later. No, I like it a lot. And we're getting more development with all the characters. Nadine talks about like his kid, like his wife shows up.
Yes, I don't know why the kid's very young. I don't know why the kid's even watching the news. I don't know how the kid would even know unless you told him things.
Yeah.
So I blame as poor writing mistakes or something because
I blame the iPad. I blame modern life, where it's very hard to keep the kid from like Googling his dad.
It wouldn't be hard to keep the kid from Googling his dad necessarily, but it's just
friends
that
at school. Hey, your dad was in the news. Said Fisk killed him.
When you were 8, how many friends' last names did you know?
I didn't have any friends.
Did you watch the news ever? So I don't know. It just seemed you should have made that kid a little older.
Age of the kid, or I don't know.
To make that swing properly for me. And maybe I'm totally wrong, but like it struck me as odd. Where I'm like, all right, the wife's having a fucking conniption thing, and I'm like, she should because she understands what life is happening.
Right.
That makes sense, but to put it all on the kid seems weird.
We haven't shown the kid in a while. I forget how old he was and stuff.
I picture like an 8-year-old.
I love them dropping down back to their native tongue when it gets real.
That's smart, though.
That little details like that, and like how natural it feels, and certain words are in there, and you're like, I like characters. Then he ends up talking to his hard-nosed boss lady. And she's like, treat your kid like your CI. Lie to him.
Yeah.
They're in a scare world they don't understand. They don't and they don't have any control, and they're in constant danger. Sound familiar?
It made perfect sense.
Bam. It was great. I was like,
perfect sense.
It's wonderful.
I don't understand why you wouldn't do that. That's how you should be doing things.
Yeah.
Like, you tell kids the truth when it makes sense to tell them the truth. When it doesn't, you tell them whatever it takes to keep them alive. Like,
yeah, well, and both of what they said was so consistent with their characters too. Everything in that scene, down to where like she gets on the elevator and she's like, "Are you coming?" And he's like, "Oh shit!" Like he's taken out of his shelf, by this news, by this seemingly obvious news. Yeah. Wait, I can lie to my kids?
Level 4 is the most dangerous.
Yeah. So details like that, you have to, we have to add dialogue for the audience's benefit or something like that. But the minute she said it, I was like, I bet that's not how it works.
Yes, right? I did. It was him being the one to finish that, like to cap that. I was like, all right, I guess you know things, whatever. But it would have been nicer if she was like, and then I found out 4 is the most dangerous. I think it would have been more effective.
Big time, right? Because that Law and Order used to feel like this to me, particularly SVU, where you'd have there's 8 characters on that show, and there'd be scenes where everyone has to chip in a line like it's a school play to make this big conversation where no one talks like this. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So.
Are there any other bits in this episode?
Yeah, we talked about the ending.
The
main
major thing,
awesome
obviously, is
action
being
scene.
that all that stuff that took place in the prison, and that was a
Yeah.
large chunk of the episode. It was impressive how much of the episode that actually was.
That went on, and like, what else can we say? Like, it's a tradition. It's really well done. They did it well. Still, they keep finding new ways to impress me. And this is okay. I guess I'll end with this. While we're watching Luke Cage or while we're watching Iron Fist or Jessica Jones, I talk about how I rank stuff, and I kind of sleep on Daredevil because Daredevil's good enough that I don't even it's like incomparable in certain ways. So once we're watching Daredevil again now, I go like, I forgot how good Daredevil was. Everything, it's been whatever 4 or 5 episodes. What episode are we on?
This is episode 4.
4? Okay. So even in these short 4 episodes, we've had all this stuff with cinematography and imagery and Catholicism and history and all these different characters. We've met all these people and done all these different things. I feel like this would have taken all season to happen on some of these other shows that I like a lot.
No. So this show is a cut above.
Shit. Yeah, definitely.
All right, guys. That's our thoughts on episode 4. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we will see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.